sport fans watching around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Let's get straight into the episode.
Yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stun.
And I've never experienced anything like it. Where were you in America when you experienced it?
Wherever you go, there's
really?
homelessness. Yeah. So in Seattle, when you go to, I was going to say, like, when you go to Canada, I guess I'll talk. Well, everywhere, just because there's so many more people in America than Australia, we don't understand it. It's so fun. There's always something to do. You drive down at 2 a.m., something's got to be open to have a snack or a meal at. It's so much fun. A billion things to do. But
there'd be, how many times the population do they have than us? It'd be 12, more than 12, almost 13 times. Yeah.
So it's ridiculously big. And
that's 13 times more fun.
Yeah, exactly. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. Like driving down, if you just drive down Windsor Road, there'll be places everywhere, like for food, for smoothie drinks, for Denny's and disgusting like burgers.
Taco Bell.
It's awesome. So super fun, but because there's so many more people, the homelessness is, oh man, it's so sad. In Canada, we went to Canada for 3 days.
Yeah.
Loved it. Absolutely beautiful, like a picture. You're going to,
I
hate when someone says, oh, you're going to love it. But it's so true. Like, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
But we were walking down this road, this street, and we, I think Wes said this on his podcast, but it was, we walked into this big homelessness. It was like a community. It was so eye-opening and really scary because people were yelling at each other and, oh man, it was absolutely. I hated it. Like I cried a little bit, because you can't do anything. There's just so many people. They actually said, like, we were watching some YouTube that there's the homeless shelters. There's so many more reasons, I'm sure, but a lot of them don't like to go because they get their stuff stolen.
Oh wow!
So it's actually easier being on the streets.
Wow.
And I'm sure there's other reasons, of course, but. Oh man, it's just so sad. It's horrible.
That is sad. It is sad, and it's crazy because I'd like to be able to have an input and a say as to what they could do to fix it, but it's just not even in my world. I wouldn't have a clue where to start.
Yeah, me neither.
I hear them always talk about on podcasts ways to try and fix it, and I'm just listening. I haven't got an A or a B point. Yeah, because it's just. We're very fortunate not to. We have homelessness in Australia. You experience it if you go to the city at night time. You get to experience it, but it's all mental health based homelessness. You know, it's not really circumstance based homelessness because we have homes that people can go into if they don't have the financial security of renting or buying or anything like that. I don't think they have anything like that in a lot of places in America. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but it's just.
The masses.
So, the masses.
Yeah.
Like in Vegas, they have the underground tunnels and like there's the homeless people in there. And like our friend said this, that they pop up in the street like on the circles. They pop up out of it, which is so weird and crazy.
Oh my gosh, there's a whole existence of humanity under there.
And like a street before like the old strip in Vegas, like just behind kind of thing, like it's another huge homeless population.
Wow.
So it's just you can see it.
Wow. I need to see that.
In Vancouver, like if you're up for those things, like it's just a walk down and you can see it all. It's very eye-opening and makes me feel like, man, like so blessed, but also so sad because it physically you can see. You don't know all their situations, and it's so easy for us to be like, "I'll go get a freaking job."
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah, and I do. Like that comes through my mind too. Like, what the heck? Like, there can't be this many.
Yeah.
But of course, there's people cheating the system. There's always going to be things like that. But also, there's people with real situations where it's just unfortunate, or you can't pay for things, or I don't know, drugs, or I don't know.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, there's a million reasons they could end up in that circumstance. It's not always drugs and gambling. It's not always
bad decisions or whatever. But
Damn, mate. So I hope you know that you have already lived a pretty interesting, fantastic life, you know? You really have. I think that you've lived already a type of life that a lot of people never experience in their whole life. Just the going out of the country in the first place. I notice it being here in Windsor. I meet people sometimes that have never left Western Sydney, let alone this. They've never been interstate. They've never been, and like that blows my mind. So to already have gone and seen multiple countries, especially to travel and spend extensive time in the dirt of Hawaii.
No, it's great, but you know.
And Brazil and Peru, like, and now America and Canada. What country do you think you'd like to go to next?
Ooh, that is a I'm just dying to go back to Canada.
Yeah.
And it wasn't long enough, so I'm not entirely sure yet. Like I'm so blessed to be able to experience that already, and I forget about it. I forget about it just during the normal daily things, and it's like, man, like I'm so ungrateful. Like I've actually done a lot, and I'm so blessed to experience that. But I'd love to explore more in Canada and see that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I always think about it like when you watch a movie or you just happen to hear one of those conversations sometimes where people are just telling stories about the world and places they've been and things you see, and you think to yourself like, damn, that's a cool person, you know? But every now and then it's good to remind yourself like, I think I am that person.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been there.
Yeah, I am that person. So good work so far. I think your whole life is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see where your university and diploma and degrees that take you and the organizations that you're going to be a part of and manage. And it's true, and I'm going to come back to when we're talking about working in the cafe and seeing the management side of people behind the scenes. I have found that so far in my trade. I haven't experienced it for a long time. I haven't been job running or leading hand for a very long time, but I have experienced it. And for Windows, there's a good feeling about leading by example, like how you're running your classes in the mornings at the gym. You're leading by example. That's such a good way to lead, you know. You're not just pushing people around, ordering people, telling people what to do. You're setting, this is what I do, this is how you should follow, you know. That's such a good way to live your life by example. Yeah.
Oh, gee, you'll be amazing at that because you're a very good communicator.
Thank you. I have a long way to go in my journey.
Everyone
of people
does.
Management. Yeah.
Everyone does.
I think I just relate to people. That's why it's so easy for me to communicate. I understand what people mean. I think I've lived a pretty. I would consider my life to so far have been exciting, but it's been mostly experience based. So it's very easy for me to relate to people when they go through, oh, my heart hurts. I've been there, buddy. I've been there. You'll be right. Oh, I can't stop doing this. I'm addicted. It might be to this particular thing. Been addicted to that too, buddy. Come here, bring it in, you know? Like it's just, very I feel holistic. So relatable. I feel relatable. I never want to lose being relatable. Yeah, definitely.
Easy to click.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I do think about it, but I never notice it that I do just happen to click with people. Yeah, but it's practice above anything. I've had 65 weeks, I think, now in a row of trying to vibe with people. So you're
doing a good job.
Yeah, it gets pretty easy after this long.
Yeah. But also, I also was talking to Mum about ever since I've known you, you look people in the eye and you care about what they say, and then you say, oh, that's really cool. Tell me a little bit more or something like that. So you've always been interested with helping people.
Thank you.
I think that's just your personality too.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know that about myself, to be honest. I didn't know that. Yeah. I'm going to try and take that with a grain of sugar. Take that with a grain of sugar.
Sprinkle it on.
Yeah. Nice. Thanks, Apes. I hope you know that, honestly, you're actually the funnest person. As soon as I told Mama, April's coming to just a big smile. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, very cool. I saw Pat this morning, actually.
Oh, really?
I'll tell the story about my morning, actually. I forgot. I was going to tell you about Santa today.
Oh, yeah, Santa. That's right. I want to hear more.
So my partner had graduation. She's a preschool teacher.
Awesome.
So all the kids were graduating today, so they had an event on in the morning. So I went there in the morning and helped. Yeah, it was super cute. So I saw a couple of kids in their gowns. I thought, oh,
I want one.
Who wants a baby? Me. Yeah. Who's got 2 thumbs, wants a baby? This guy. So I went and helped set up in the morning, and then I had a task to dress up as Santa. So I was like, oh, I'll come home for a little bit. Anyway, so I came home. Oh, I'll drop off my car to get it detailed. And as I'm dropping it off, I'm talking to Patrick on the phone. I'm like, you gonna pick me up? He's like, yeah, all right.
I kind of forgot.
Yeah. So yeah, he came through and picked me up this morning. Told him I'm doing a podcast with you.
Yeah.
Very
we're
exciting.
so close.
Oh yeah, it's such a blessing living so close to Batty Boy. I would not be able to see him as much as I do because I don't get to see many people as often as I want if it wasn't for the fact that we're living so close together.
So convenient.
Yeah. Even when I want to pull my finger out and go, time to see Batty, it's only 3 minutes later. I see him. Yeah. Yeah. Also Mitchell, I've got to give a shout out to Mitchell as well. So yes, big shout out to Patrick. Love Patrick. But big shout out to Mitchell too. Mitchell's easily stepping into one of those roles that I've noticed that you don't have much of being an older sibling. You don't have many people that you can look up to as an older sibling. And Mitchell's one of those people that I've looked to as for advice and opinions and things like that. So big shout out to Mitchell as well. Yeah, big shout out. But got to dress up as Santa today.
That would have been awesome.
It was fun. It was really fun.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much kids did love Santa until I walked out. And then I'm like walking with a bit of a thing. I had like big belly with all these stuffed towels and stuff in there, and then big beard and stuff. Had sunnies on, so a couple of the kids didn't recognize who I was. And then
Santa with sunnies. That's awesome.
Sunnies in the rain. Yeah, and then like I walk out there, and then I just hear one parent go, "Hey, look, there's Santa." Then everyone goes, "Santa!" And I have these big bucket of candy canes and going, "Here you go, ho ho ho!" Terrible Santa voice all day.
No, I was gonna say that's pretty good.
It was terrible. I had like this big beard on, so you couldn't even hear me. So I had to be louder. Oh ho ho! It's terrible. But yeah, kids love Santa. Hey, kids love Santa.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Aww.
You know what I was thinking today? I want to know how you think about this. I just told, I was talking about it before, but I'm starting to think that maybe Santa is real, okay? Hear me out.
Okay, all right. No judgment face. Sorry about that.
Wild concept.
Okay.
And I don't mean it in a sense that, yes, there's a guy living in the North Pole with all his helpers going, oh, nearly Christmas time, and they're packaging toys. Obviously, there's no guy flying it. Sorry to all the kids listening. Parents, pre-warning. All right.
Santa's peak.
Yeah. Santa is real. Just jokes. Okay. So I think, what if Santa is just a spirit? I think spirit's a close enough word to use to describe it. But it's more like an aura or a feeling, or what if, because I really want to dress up as Santa. You know, I really enjoyed it today, and now I can't wait to do it for children and grandchildren in the future. Mm-hmm. And other people share that same feeling. So what if Santa's more like a holy, not even a holy presence, but just a presence of something that we can't measure. It's an energy, it's an entity that kind of possesses us in an uplifting, spiritful manner that makes me want to be able to be Santa, you know? And I know it's crazy, but as soon as I dressed up today, I thought to myself, Santa's real. I am Santa, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
right.
Because I'm telling you right now, it was a weird experience, but I was Santa for these kids. And they got to, no, who's been good this year? And they believed I was Santa, you know? And that's a real experience as anything. That's completely real. So Santa's real. It's just an experience. It's not an entity, you know? It's not a person. Santa's an experience.
Yeah. It's like a hope.
Yeah.
It's like a joy, because it brings joyfulness. Like, I never believed, my parents never told me that Santa was real.
Oh, really?
Yes, I never believed in that. It was never even like, don't even remember thinking I'm missing out.
Yeah.
So I can't remember that. And like, I talked about this with Mitch and Pat. Like, we never really remembered that. Got a few less presents than other kids, which sucked. But
Mum and Dad got a lot more approval.
Yeah, they
got
were
a lot more praise. Yeah.
Yeah, my mum was like, that old man's not getting the gifts, like getting praise for the gifts that I bought.
That's mad.
But it is a hope. It's fun, and it brings people together, and all those it's like going back to the less fortunate people or whatever, and Santa comes and it's like, oh, so amazing, like, oh, you came to see me kind of thing. So yeah, I get that. I understand that.
It was cool. It was cool. And it's like, I don't remember believing Santa's real, but I remember believing Santa's not real for the first time.
Really?
And I remember starting to click on and be like, where's Grandpa? You know what I mean? Every time Santa's here, Grandpa's out of the room. Maybe Grandpa's Santa, a little Sherlock Holmes, you know, like figuring it all out. And I remember thinking, like, they think they've outsmarted me. They haven't. I slipped up. I told my mum and my dad, maybe. I was like, starting to click on you guys. I'm starting to click on.
I know what's happening.
And then one day, the next Christmas, Grandpa walks away. Doosh, big thump comes from upstairs. Oh. And I thought, you bastards, you haven't got me this year. And I looked at my mum. I said, told you, Grandpa's not here. And then Grandpa walks through the front door. And they must have told my whole family that Jake's starting to click on, you know. So they must have got one of his friends thinking back to dress up. So Grandpa comes back in. I just remember thinking, shit, I'm not as smart as I thought I was, you know.
Your family was actual.
Yeah, we had Santa when I was a kid.
That's amazing. That's so fun.
It was cool. So yeah, I believe it to be I believe Santa to be real as I've gotten to the age of 25 again. Santa's real.
That would have been what a cool experience.
It was cool.
But you like sign me up for next year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I can't wait. I would like to do it every year. I won't take it away from my grandfather from doing it at Christmas because he loves doing it, but I'll get to do it one day. We have little kids in our family too, which is exciting. We have all these little step nieces and nephews, and I got a little cousin who's, you know, probably 4 now, which is exciting again. And get to see Christmas through kids is awesome. Yeah. You'll get to experience that through Mitchell and Levi. Yeah. It's exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah. It sucks when you get to, when you do buy presents from Santa though, it does suck.
Yeah. It's like, man, I spent $30 on this. And then I have to buy another one.
I know. I've got to spend 60 because Santa's broke. Yeah. I've been thinking about the concept of spirits, and I think that's a cool enough word to use to describe it. But it's like, I think of the easiest one is, now that we get into that time of the year, the spirit of Christmas. Okay. And what is the spirit of Christmas? And the spirit of Christmas is a real thing because it's not the 25th of December. It's not just the celebration of Jesus Christ being born. It's a collection of family time. It's a collection of giving without expectation of receiving. It's the excitement of receiving. It's the warm food, the belly's full, it's like, that is a spirit. Like, that's a real thing that lives on. So just like how in the biblical sense you have demonic possession and devil and all these other spirits, you do have good spirits, you know. And I'm starting for the first time to see that it's just an equal opposing force. For the devil, you've got God. So for all the demons, you have to have, I guess we call them angels, but they're all, I think the spirit of Christmas might be an angel, you know. It's crazy. It's awesome. Yeah. It's exciting. Yeah,
it's like that excitement. That's really cool. The spirit, that's very true. And like also around this time, like there are the different types of spirits and different types of feelings. We're blessed to have such a awesome family and have all these events and family get-togethers. And if we didn't have Christmas also, like, when would we get together?
I agree.
That's another thing.
That's Jesus right there. That's actually Jesus, because that's Easter and Christmas, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, someone's got to... If we didn't have that...
Someone's got to born and someone's got to die.
Yeah. Who's going to do it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it's a really good intentional time, but then some people just don't have that, or it's sucky, or you don't have family anymore, or so then it could be a like sad spirit maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
could be a sad spirit, but the good news is that I think that the light will always beat the darkness in every circumstance. True. So just because someone's having a poor experience of their spirit they're now, I'm sure that they'll be invited to other people's, because love is so strong. Love is such a strong force. Our family isn't even just blood anymore. Our family is friends and relatives and extensions and past and exes. Like, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
Our family. It blows my mind every time I think about it. And you know what? I have to say this about your family too. And for everyone listening, it's been all lovey-dovey, Brown family, Doxy family. But I have to let you know that I've always looked at the Browns as an example for a perfect, beautiful family. I really have. I think that your family is so accurate for what a family should be. I think the relationship you have, the family household that you grew up in, the manners, the manners is a massive one. but that is perfect. Going over to your house and experiencing what it was like to have dinner with you guys was nothing like I'd ever experienced before. It was a little bit overwhelming, not going to lie, in the beginning. because I had
feels
to
that.
I had to be the best version of myself. But you guys didn't seem any type of effort. You were just naturally just doing yourselves, you know. And I've learnt a lot from you guys to see the relationship that Patrick has with you and you have with Patrick and Mitchell and yourself, and the relationship you have with your parents, even the way your parents are with each other. I think that you are an amazing family. So props to you guys and for always just being an example for what a family should be.
Thank you. That's really nice. Yeah, my grandparents, I've got to say that they've been awesome for everyone. They've been amazing, and yeah, my parents are amazing too. Like I guess I'm just speechless I'm so grateful for them. But thank you. That means a lot. Like, of course, not easy. Like my mum she read a manners book once, and it changed the course of our life.
Really? Did that really happen? Or is that metaphorically?
No, literally. She had this book about etiquette.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, that makes sense.
Yeah. She read this book about etiquette, and she's been an absolute like Nazi over manners for our whole entire life.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It's been a lot. It learns more than even just table manners. It's every sphere of life. It's been really helpful.
And to be honest,
Really
I honestly
helpful.
look at that for examples of how I should live my life. People say chivalry is dead, right? But I think manners are dead too. I think people don't have a proper way of doing anything anymore. The word proper doesn't even have a place in our society. There's no way to greet someone anymore. There's no way to reciprocate, ask someone how they're feeling back, ask someone how their day has been. There's no
That's true, yeah.
offering to help someone cross the road. There's no let me get that for you. None of that exists anymore. It's just, I love seeing it. So please invite me over for dinner, you guys. I need a refresher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard. Like, I really hope, I think that's the huge thing. I hope that I can be a parent like that.
Definitely. There isn't a doubt in my mind that
It's going to
you'll...
be tricky, though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. I think parenthood is going to be the most difficult thing we ever decide to do, and it will never stop being so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're a parent your whole life.
Yeah.
You never stop.
Yeah.
I always think about my parents and think to myself, like, especially my mum, because my mum was just always there. I'm not saying my dad wasn't, but there was a difference between the bond between motherly love is different than fatherly love.
Yep.
I think that I feel so bad that that my mum had to raise children for so long because it would have been such a hard task. And then I remember she's going to keep raising children forever.
Yeah, wait,
you know?
it doesn't stop. And their grandkids come along. Mum, can you look after whatever? Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
That's
awesome.
true, yeah.
I'll tell you this off camera. All right, for everyone listening, sorry, we're back. We had to take a little bit pause. no one even knew we did, but
Oh, yeah. Just cut it.
that had to happen. When you look at your life in a Christian form, okay, do you think that it is a journey the same way you look at your journey as if your career? Where do you see possible futures inside of it or other things you'd like to experience inside it, or is it a completely different thing?
Definitely. I haven't thought about it as like a career vision in that sense, but 100%. I think that's the only thing that I don't know where I'm going to go career-wise. I don't even know if I have no clue entirely, but that I know that I really want to, I know that. I think that's what gives me hope too, and excitement for the future of learning more, being more confident. I feel like I'm actually not as confident as, or stepping out and telling people. Like, that's a huge thing that's hard for me. So it just depends who I'm talking to. With you, so easy.
Yeah.
With people, it really depends, honestly. So that's a big thing that working with, but I want to trust God and step into things that I know that moving overseas is going to be a huge thing, trusting in God and knowing that He's going to lead us in whatever way, which is super exciting. But
yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I know you're about to say something. But the reason I ask is because I always notice a common theme, and especially with you and Wes. I think that you and Wes are a great couple. I think that you are very similar in especially your belief. And not just in the fact that you both believe in Jesus Christ, but in your confidence to share with me and the people listening. That is not something that a lot of people would do. And maybe everyone that has come on the pod, maybe some people who have been on the podcast before share a similar belief, but it's not something. I even ask people sometimes out of nowhere, do you believe in God? And like Kayla, for example, did say, yes, of course, like the previous episode. And she did mention to me before God. But some people I've asked before, they say, yeah, of course. But there's nothing that would have told me that that person believes in God if I didn't ask the question. But you guys lead me with that, which makes me feel confident enough to talk to you guys about it. So it is a strong thing that you guys both have. You're both open. You're both obviously young and fruitful. I think that you both have good visions of the future. And I can't remember exactly where I was getting at, but I'm going to try and going to try and find my way back around. I do remember. A lot of people, and I noticed this with both you and Wes, say I have trust in God to see where my career takes me. But I'm curious to know whether it's a similar mindset or a complete opposite one to say, I want to see where I take my career with God.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit, yeah, I understand that. Because it's kind of a weird thing to say, like, oh, I trust God, and then it's kind of like a cop-out sometimes, maybe. So I definitely understand that.
I don't think it's a cop-out.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a cop-out. I think it's another way of saying something that a lot of people say without using the same words. I think people like to say, I'm excited to see where this takes me. I'm excited to see what happens. Like, you know, like whatever happens, happens. Like that's another way of people having a similar, it doesn't mean you're copping out of anything. It just means that you're okay with seeing where it's going and you're okay with seeing where it's going because of your religious values.
Yeah.
So I think it's not a cop-out. It's just another way of saying it.
Sometimes I feel like it is because I know that the gym's going to be really important, and it already has in even just encouraging people and like keep coming back, you know, and like making friends, and it's a small thing, or I know that that's already being used as an avenue to share love and share and
Health,
just as encouragement.
Share health.
Yeah, share health. So I pray that God's going to use that more. But in terms of where, like, I guess trusting God, because I don't really know.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, and I hate that. I know roughly, but like Pat's known I'm going to be an electrician. I'm going to have my own business, like aircon, like, and I've always admired him in that.
Yeah.
He's
I
known.
have to,
like,
yeah.
I've admired him, and I've actually felt jealous and envious of it because I'm like, damn it, like, why can't I be like that? Like, a goal, have a vision, and like, he's achieved it. Like, he's finished his
second trade.
Like
he's
7 years.
trade.
Like, I don't know how.
I'm jealous of that. I'll tell you that right now.
Like, it's amazing. Like, he's worked so hard and so faithful on it, and not having that specific direction is difficult. But maybe it's for a reason. Like
100%, it's for a reason.
Yeah, and it keeps me open. Of all right, wherever we're going, sure, let's do it. Or maybe my job is going to be looking after kids for like a long port, like God willing, with money and with wherever situational that I want to be. That's going to be a full-time job and be that mother figure. So maybe it's not as important, and maybe I don't know because it might take over that. I don't know.
I've got I want to call it a gut feeling, but maybe clairvoyance is a close enough word to describe it. But I think that your life is going to be exciting in the fact that it already has. So you've gone on YWAM. Yeah, good. You've gone on YWAM. And if you left school and you had an envision for what career you wanted your future to take, there's no chance you would have done that, to see the world the way you saw it.
True.
If you had a vision of starting your own business and opening all these things, you wouldn't have gone on these holidays to go to America and Canada so far. I think that the future is looking exactly the way that this is now, with exciting things. Just like it was in Brazil, where you had food poisoning and you had that moment that you experienced, you had that shot. it's going to have challenges no matter what.
Yeah.
You're going to be envious of other people's decisions. You're going to be in situations you think, why am I here? Just like the 6-month period in the back of your head. But just like your brother Patrick, I know that in the back of his mind, deep down, whether Pat wants to believe it or not, he thinks to himself, why am I going through all this effort to do this? Why do I want to start my own business? Why am I still at TAFE?
Well, he does. He's awesome because he's verbal about that. And he said, I called him up last week and he was like, man, like there were so many years where it's like, why the heck am I doing this? Or when he was driving down to Newcastle at the start, like, why am I doing this? But, just keep going. So, yeah.
It's just, that's, no matter where you are in your life, you're going to be envious of other people's lives.
That's very true.
You're going to wish you had a better vision. You're going to wish that you're
more money.
You're gonna. I wish upon a star every night. Every time I see a blinker, I wish upon a star.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're not where you're meant to be when you're meant to be there. Life and God will present itself what you need when you need it. You never get what you want in life. No.
You never. That's it. Podcast done. You never get.
I say this quote on every podcast I can. Life will give you whatever you want. It just will never give you what you want when you want it. And I believe that to be so true. I believe it to be true. I want to have children now. I ain't having them now. It doesn't matter how bad I want them. But I will get them. You will get the position in which you are like, I understand now what Pat was thinking before, or you say you admired how both Mitchell and Patrick both had plans and visions and things like that. You'll get to that position, but you're not going to get it yet. You know what I mean? Your life is going to be too exciting and you're going to be doing too many different things and going to too many different places. Like I think every time you might, I believe you might go to uni again. You never know. And
be open to that.
Yeah, because, and it's like your mum, for example, was a perfect example. I think your mum has done so far since I've known her, multiple different career
She's still
values.
studying.
Still studying.
She's still going.
That is, I bet some part of her mind thinks to herself, why?
Oh, yeah. Or Dad and I are like, why?
But that is, your mum is such an impressive woman because of such an impressive woman. And I see you in your mum. That's basically where I'm getting at. Her life is exciting in the fact that she is choosing to do multiple different things instead of just one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of, also comes from, it's both things of like wanting to progress, also the fear of not being good enough, and so wanting to do all these things. And so,
I think fear is important though.
Yeah, it's a big one. Like if you didn't have it, you wouldn't do things. You wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say before, when you said how, I appreciate you saying like Wes and I are open to say these things, or honestly, if it wasn't for Wes, I would not be this open, and I'm definitely a long way to go of stepping into it, but being open to say that I'm Christian, but not being relatable, not weird. Like it's just hard. It's a hard balance. Not weird, but having that urgency too, because you want other people to come to Christ. And but if I didn't have him, like especially Mitch as well, like man, like I would be a little hermit.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you have them both to do so, and they both do it well, don't they?
Yeah.
They both do it well of finding that balance without forcing upon the feeling of Bible bashing, which I know is an experience that I understand it from an outsider, not considering myself. It's funny because I considered myself to be Christian for a very long time until I realized I wasn't. But that didn't mean that I didn't believe in everything biblical. It just means that I believed in it differently. So I just mean that I think the terminology is a little bit differently. I think that's the only difference. But yeah, like what you do is important in the way that you do spread the fact that you believe in God, because it lets other people know. I'm going to change it to believe in Jesus Christ, because it lets other people know that they can feel open enough to do it too. And the more you speak about it, the more people will start to open their hearts to the idea. Personally, I don't have the same belief as you. I don't have the same belief as Wes. I don't have the same belief as Patrick, who's my best mate. But I know in my heart that we're all going to the same place. You know what I mean? It's refreshing honestly, hearing it. And if you're ever worried that people might be judgmental or of the fact that I think that's what holds a lot of people back from speaking about it, the fear of judgment or just sounding weird or anything like that, just know that who cares what they think, because it's not their time to hear it, you know? Yeah. All you're doing is you're just trying to let it be there. But they'll have their time. They'll have their time.
Or they might think about it in, who knows, 10 years and be like, oh, like it's tiny little stepping stones. So, yeah, you know, it's hard though in the moment.
It is hard. It is hard. I try and I stop myself from even speaking about God, let alone Jesus Christ. I think God's a hard enough one for me to feel acceptance in speaking about. So I can't imagine an even more niche market like Christianity, which is again something that I think the world has gone from like 77% Christian to lower, way lower today. Yeah. But through the work of spreading the message again, it is constantly growing back up again. Because the one thing that I think is mostly important is that we are entering a bit of a godless society. You know, losing traditions, losing marriage. Marriage used to be something that lasts a lifetime. And that was because it was built on a Christian traditional foundation. So with a godless society, we are in complete anarchy. We are lost as humans.
So true.
So I think that,
it's scary. Like as you were talking about, like even marriage, like the percentage of Christian divorce it's not even that far away from non-Christian. Wow. Which is shocking.
That is shocking. Yeah.
Because you'd think like that they would set a scene, but I don't know. I've never been in that situation. It's really hard to talk. I'm just like, it's going to be hard. It is, with kids involved too.
Of course, marriage is going to be hard.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh, I already know that. Yeah. I'm already trying to have conversations about it with not just partner, but with everyone I meet.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be hard. We've got to knuckle through those hard times. Yes. We've got to push forward, you know. Yeah. You kind of got to understand that this isn't a life for me anymore. This is a life for others. This is a life for my partner. This is a life for my children. And if we've all got the same mindset, it'll come back to me, you know.
Yeah.
So you just have to give up the reins of enjoying your life and just put your time into someone else. If both people can do that, then I think that you'll have a long, happy, prosperous future together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I actually kind of thought to myself for a very long time, I would be multiple time married. I actually did for a very long time.
Why is that? Oh,
well, here's the thing. I didn't think I would be. I just thought statistically it's my most likely possibility. So I learned to be okay with the fact that I will give everything to a relationship and it won't work out, because I think at the time I didn't have enough faith in the partner I was going to be with because of previous relationships. Okay. So I think that made it easy to be like, well, it didn't work out before, won't work out again. This time it might go a little bit longer. I'll probably be married by that stage, you know. Wow. So I was just living my life statistically. And obviously mindsets change when you meet certain people.
So how did it change, or when did you realize that it changed for you?
When I actually believed someone for the first time when they told me things in reciprocation. So say, I love you, hearing it back, hearing things like I want to be with you forever, I want to grow a future with you, and actually believing it for the first time. It's always been something that I've never really believed. And I really do think that a big part of it comes from my own self-value as well. I think that I've learnt to become proud and comfortable with who I am, and I've convinced myself, not just through manipulation in my own brain, but by proving things to myself, that I am a catch. I am worthy of someone. I am going to make someone's life extreme. I've always believed I'll make someone extremely happy. Yeah. Didn't know how. Now I know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use my masculinity to its full potential, and I'm going to constantly dive a little bit deeper into my femininity when it needs to be used. Yeah. That's a concept that I've never considered. So I think by starting to understand I'm worth keeping forever, now I believe that I will be with the one person.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think so. I didn't know that until this moment.
There you go.
Thanks, April.
Therapy.
It is therapy.
Knowing just like you're good enough and someone actually wants to be with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I never knew I thought until this moment. Look at you
That's
go.
cool. Just asked a question and you said it. That's so awesome.
Wonderful. Do you have you ever done any form of therapy or counselling or psychology therapy?
Well, my mum's a counsellor, so that's been a lot of free therapy.
Nice.
I've done a little bit, or Wes and I have done a little bit too. Not heaps, just a little bit, because sometimes there's only so much you want to tell your mum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I journal a lot. I love journaling. Also
Nice.
looking back and just about random things, and you're like, oh, that's right. What the heck? Like, I thought about that, or I was going through that, or...
That was a cute dog at the cafe.
Yeah. Like, why did I write that down? Like,
oh, that's the day I learned what a piccolo was.
literally. Which
Yeah.
is so cool, because I go back through some of my diaries, and so that has been a huge one. But I always want to do some type of counselling. I take for granted my mum. I think when I'm not living with her, I think I'm going to have to invest in that more, for sure. She's the best. I get it for free.
Yeah, that is
and
the
I don't
best.
even know it.
Yeah, that is the best.
Yeah.
Hey, that is the best.
Yeah. Have you?
I have done one. In school, I did one when I was in public schooling. I did like a weekly check-in kind of thing, because I was a bit more, when I was at a public school, like high school, public school, I was a bit more, I would say troubled's the closest word, but I was just lost. And you know what I mean? I always battled in school of wanting to be a better kid and never being able to do so. And it kind of made me a bit frustrated. I had a bit of behavioural issues, especially in public schools where you have a lot more kids around you, and the school suggested I go and do it. So I kind of did that.
Okay.
Didn't take nothing out of it. And then
It's
I did
hard
it.
when you kind of... Did you want to do it?
I was curious.
Okay.
I was curious about what it was.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily want to do it. I wanted to experience it.
Okay.
And then when I was sitting there, I was thinking, this ain't shit.
Yeah, it also depends. Like, do you click? It's sad to say, but
Didn't click.
yeah, if you got to click with the people.
Yeah.
That's
One time in my adulthood, I have done it. I've done it when I was probably 19, 20 maybe. I think I did it for, wouldn't have been more than 1 or 2 sessions. I think I did it. And it was just I don't know. I wasn't ready for it. I did it because I was suggested it. I was told this might help in this certain circumstances. But I didn't even see a problem with the life I was living. So it didn't really make a difference to me. Nowadays, I think I would definitely see the benefit in doing so. But this podcast is the therapy. So I think it's all the therapy I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really depends. Like, if you have good friends, or you can talk to your parents or your partner, or this, it really depends. But yeah, like, because Mum does it, she says sometimes one might be, they might not come back. A, they might not click, and that's okay. B, they might not want to be there. Be like, what the heck? Like, why am I here? Or this is an absolute waste of money and time.
Yeah.
Or maybe one session was enough. Or you realise, actually, like, I could talk to this about with someone else. So, yeah. Like, I think, Wes and I went once to this guy, and we thought he was Christian, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
He used to be a pastor, and then he said that he wasn't anymore, and we were like, oh.
Yeah.
So he was quoting all these Bible like verses, and then he said, I'm not a Christian anymore, and we're like, huh.
Yeah.
Like, we Googled you. Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we just didn't click, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's cool. I think that it's definitely something that I'll be doing in the future with, not saying I need to do it right now, but it's definitely, there's nothing wrong with putting ice cream with your cake, you know what I mean? Like, cake's great on its own, and then you can also make it a little bit better with ice cream. So I'd like to do couples therapy in the future just to learn more, experience more. But I think the number one thing about therapy that I'm learning is the deep conversational part of it. It's the long, meaningful conversation. It's the breaking down, realizing things you didn't realize. It's having your eye open to conversation, you know? So I think that a third person in a couple's therapy would definitely be helpful because it's like, oh, we wouldn't have got to that without this person here. I get it. Yeah.
Or even when there's fighting, that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Not being able to see past your own thing. Mum says people are fighting. She stop, let them talk, or
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Wow, that's a good mindset. I never really thought about that. If people are fighting, stop, let them talk.
Yeah. I'm sure we're going to get through that. You just can't see past your own point.
Yeah.
It's really hard to relate to the other person's point on some things.
And then you just eventually you have to just compromise, Compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might not always agree, but
What are 3 things, Apes, that I'm going to say? Because I ask when I have a female guest, I've been asking them green or red flags and looking for a partner. But I'm going to change it when I have guests who have partners. And I'm going to ask, what do you think are 3 main foundations that a good relationship must have? 3. So you'll say one, I'll say one. You'll say one, I'll say one.
Okay.
You'll say one, I'll say one.
All right. Who's going first? Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Thanks for offering. I would say one of the main things that every relationship needs to have is, I've got a couple, to be honest. I don't know which one I want to choose from first. And I'm also going to try and choose one that you're not choosing, so you're not stuck without an answer for your first one.
No, it's all right. Challenge me.
I would say communication would be my first one. I would say everything needs to be communicated, but it also needs to come with a grain of salt. I think just because something needs to be said, there's a way to say it so the other person understands what you mean without bashing their head in with the insults. You know what I mean?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been in a relationship where I think everything that needed to be said was said, but it was never said how it should be said. Never. Yeah. And that just creates, fuck you too. Yeah. What about yourself?
Okay.
What's a...
Probably no particular order, but I was just having fun.
Nice.
A huge one. If you can do the same boring, mundane stuff day in, day out, go to work, you've got to have fun and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
It's really important. And it's going to get harder.
Yeah.
Because kids and
the responsibilities get larger.
So that's a huge one. Just thinking into the future, just enjoying each other's company.
Nice, that's a good one. Again, I've been in a relationship before, separate relationship, where it was no longer fun. It was no longer fun. I think that it easily became a routine-based system, just like working in an office kind of job where it felt like I was just crunching numbers all day. You know, it was this particular food on a Saturday morning, and then we'd go to the same place we'd always go for lunch, and then we'd have the same routine 5 days a week until Sunday it was time to do the same thing again. It was just, there was never anything different or exciting, never. So always keeping it fun. And fun's it's kind of easy at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, it's not like it's hard.
Yeah.
It might be hard to put yourself into that mindset of right now it's time to do something fun. But I think building a puzzle together could be fun, you know. I think watching a movie is an example, but if that's your routine, then no, it's no longer fun.
Yeah.
I think it
links
different.
to that of like there's routine, but all right, we're going to go out, do something different or try a different place or... Yeah, you might not always, you just want to probably sit on the couch and watch TV, but yeah that's important. Yeah.
Nice. Good one. Fun. All right. My second one, I would say, would be, it's kind of a blanket term, but I would say commitment, because it's kind of A plus B equals C, you know, 1 + 2 = 3, because the commitment is the prerequisite knowledge that it's going to get rough. For every part of the honeymoon phase or every part of the one-off month where you're just overwhelmed in the other person, you have to commit to the fact that everything comes in waves. And just like I said on the last podcast, that it's going to fall and it's going to be pity, but then you have to start climbing in order to get back to that top feeling again. Otherwise, you're just going to keep going into new relationships over and over again. This all is obviously if you're with the right person. But without the understanding that's going to get rough, I think that's why a lot of marriages fail. I think it's why a lot of people break up, or one person might just get sick of the other person because they don't understand why it's not so happy daisy like it used to be. So if you can understand and commit to the fact that it's not always going to be, then it'll be easier for you to start getting yourself out of it again. You know, commit to the downfall. Commit to it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean pro hands it. Doesn't mean go out there and go out all night and don't say when you're coming home, or it just means understand the situation you're in.
Yeah. and knowing that it will come and we'll be able to do it together.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, love that one. Another one would probably be being able to like challenge but lift each other up.
Nice. That's a good one. I know what you mean.
Like be, I guess, the encourager.
Motivating.
Yeah.
Encouragement, yeah.
Because words are really important. And I found, I don't know, like, I find that words for, say, Wes and Pat and my dad particular and Mitch too, like encouraging, I feel like male figures, like building them up with your words, like it means a lot. And I'm sure everyone would feel that, but it means everything. It just is a little bit like more and having those, so being able to encourage one another, challenge each other. Wes is like, as you said, the little thing on my shoulder, like challenging me. Yeah. That's hard for me sometimes. I just want to stop, but I'm very grateful of being supported and encouraged, but also like you got this and keep being challenged and really important. And yeah,
it might be different then between male and female encouragement then. What's the way that you notice that all the males in your life get their encouragement? Like how do you notice the similarities between, say, Wes, Pat, your dad and Mitch?
Yeah,
how would you motivate them?
Good question. The encouraging them in their achievements that they've been doing, or I see that you've been working so hard at this. Really good job. Like you're doing absolutely amazing. You've wanted this. Look what you've done. And then also including like looking to the future, more of and that's what you want to achieve, like, and seeing all the recognition that you have earned through your doings.
Yeah.
I feel like me personally, I just want to be, I just want to be encouraged maybe from my point right now. Yeah. I don't want to be challenged to keep on like, you should do this and this and this. Yeah. And I just want to be encouraged right now. Like, I don't really want to think about the future. Maybe that's a me thing, but...
sorry to cut you off, but I have to make this point that is how I believe men and women are different. Yeah. I really do believe that's how men and women are different.
Guys want to just keep, let's push. Like, yeah, I've seen what we've done, but like, I want to do this, but I just want to sit right now in the bliss of the moment.
Yeah.
Don't challenge me.
And as long as you're taking advantage of the moment, it doesn't mean that you're not giving away the future by taking advantage of the moment. You know, if something comes your way, accept it. Tackle it as best as you can in the present. But I think that is a massive difference between men and women, and that would motivate men as well. Look what can be. Look what you can do if you keep going. Look at the future. Look at the future. That's what motivates me. The further I think in the future, the better I am in the present.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that's a big one.
Because I believe, and I don't know. Tell me if this is condescending or not, because I'm not sure.
No.
I've never said it to a female before.
No, it's all right.
A woman. Never said it to a woman before. I feel like it is almost like destiny for a man to conquer the world and to come back and show the woman the best parts about it. I don't think it is a woman's earning to go out there and not saying women don't want to go out and experience new things. They don't want to go, but they don't see the same thing a male sees, where this is mine. I want to go take it all. A man sees the world like me, and I think this is my planet. I want all of it. I want it's mine. Like that's, but I feel like, and it kind of helps if I tell myself this, a woman just should be able to see the best parts of it. You know, there's no need to go out there and try all of it. So I'm just wondering if is that relatable in a sense that it's like a man should try and conquer the world, and a woman should be there in the present to almost stop him if he goes too far.
Yes, go 100%. Because all the dreams that come up and all the I want to do this and this and this. I'm like, slow down.
Yeah.
Yes, I can agree with that, and definitely, and that's not condescending at all. I think with all the women empowerment, like, yeah, it's great, but also it takes away from the male figure and the woman figure.
Yeah.
It
definitely takes away femininity, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Like, women, you got to be all and do all, mum, business, but which is awesome and cool for some people, but like
You can't if you can't do all business and all mother.
And also it takes away from the man. Like, I know that you and I know that Wes, you guys want to be, and Pat want to be the providers. You want to do that. You want to get the money. You want to provide for your women's, and
it breaks our hearts to see a woman having to try and do the same thing.
But also it might feel like do you not trust me? I don't know. Do you
I think a little bit. I think it would come with more insecurity if a guy did think that. I think it would definitely come with insecurity.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be easy to convince a guy, no, that's not what it is. Especially if it was dream based. If a woman was going out and chasing her dreams and that came with a lot of money, then a guy should never feel that she's trying to step on his toes or take away his position, because all she's doing is the exact same thing he's doing.
Yeah.
And she should not have to sacrifice her dreams in order to make his dreams make do. You complement each other's dreams.
Yeah.
I think that it's mostly a sense that I love going to work every day, but I struggle to do so in a term where if I didn't have to, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So it breaks a guy's heart, really breaks a guy's heart if he loves his woman, to know that she has to do the same thing. He just wants her to be able to sleep in. He wants her to be able to get things done around the house so she's not coming home at the end of the day and being like, oh, I've got more to do. Yeah. You know, for every part of it that's good for a man, because like you get to have a clean home and you get to have your children fed and washed and cleaned and, you know, like lunch and dinner made. Like that's awesome. But it's also like, imagine you had to go out all day and then come home and do that, because that's the last thing a guy wants to do is go out all day, then come home and do more stuff.
Yeah.
So you don't want your girl to come home and do more stuff. So, yeah, I think that's if that answers your question.
Yeah, that is. I was just thinking about what was the main question, like.
Oh yeah, I was asking if. Sorry, I remember. Yeah.
Okay.
I said, is it demeaning or can't remember the word I used. Condescending to say that it's a man's job to go do this and a woman's job to do that. And the term I usually use sounds a bit more condescending, and it's that it's a man's job to take over the world and it's a woman's job to stop him. But I mean that in all goodness.
Yeah, no. I actually understand that. I think, or understand that a little bit more. I think it's true.
Yeah.
I think definitely to an extent of maybe even just talking and rationalizing, like.
You could get injured.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Like that guy needs to hear that.
Yeah. The fear factor is in the woman's mind. It's for a reason, even though it's like, oh, you're boring sometimes, but it's for a reason. I definitely think so. I
think women were here on this planet to keep men in order. You know what I mean? I think no one wants a bossy wife, all right? But like a happy wife is a happy life, because not just the people think the terminology behind it means like, great, I've got to do everything my wife says so I'm not miserable, so she's not kicking me up a storm. But it's more like if my, how was I going to say it? It's more like if my wife is happy, then I'm happy. You know, that's really the term behind it. People think of it like, oh, I've got to be home by 7 or she's going to rip my head off. You know, they say happy wife, happy life. You know,
it's so depressing.
It's really not that. I think women were here to keep men in check, because I think that a woman will complement a man in every possible way. If she's using her femininity and he's using his masculinity, just like a man is here to complement a woman in every way, you know? I think that a man should go out and experience the world and then show the woman, or at least lead the woman to the right places, you know, and the woman's there to guide him while he's leading.
Yeah.
That's probably I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah. Because the man is the leader. Like at the end of the day, you guys are the leader of the household. So yes, you can discuss and talk things together. I definitely believe and debate. I'm sure there's going to be or what should we do? But at the end of the day, you guys are the leader and are showing the direction. So having faith and trust that you guys are going to do that in the right way. So there's a lot of responsibility. I was thinking like I would I'm so glad I'm a woman.
I was just about to ask
I'm
that.
so glad, like,
Yeah.
man, I wouldn't, the responsibility is a lot. Like, I guess women have responsibility over the children, but you guys have responsibility over the wife
Yeah.
who
yeah.
leads the children.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing. Like,
That's a good point, Aves. Great point.
yeah. And if your wife is, it sounds very weird and biblical but like, it's simple. Like, if your wife is like disrespectful or whatever, the man's going to feel
Yeah, the man's not going to feel like a
horrible.
man.
But vice versa too at the same
Yeah,
time.
of
But
course.
like, just shows that like you guys are the leader. And so, yeah, I'm so glad I'm not in that position.
It sounds weird because like we're missing one key component in this conversation, and that is that you do earn the I don't know if you necessarily always have to earn people's respect. I believe that respect should be forefront of every conversation. You should always have respect, but you have to maintain that respect, and a woman doesn't always have to respect her man if he's not earning it. I feel like a
Yeah.
man does have to earn his
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah,
I feel
true.
like she should complement his life in every way if he's a man worthy of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. And I guess all that was talking in a way of a healthy relationship
Yeah,
and
yeah,
of
of
a
course.
loving and serving one another.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an old school traditional value that is probably from even pre-1900s, even to early 1900s. And then we went through a period of time I feel like life was really good for a while. And then modern day first world, like America, Australia, all these countries, they went through periods of war. So we went through First World War, Second World War, and it showed what could do wrong inside of traditional families where a man is not a loving husband anymore and a traditional man in that sense because he's gone through this PTSD trauma, and the woman is still a traditional woman. And it showed, movies have definitely shown what can happen inside a household where a man is a piece of shit and a woman is still a loving, caring, beautiful mother and wife. And it kind of steered everyone to this belief that like there is no need to have traditional masculine roles and feminine roles and all these things, because we saw a time period in human existence where men got fucked up. Men got used and abused by the systems and constructs and societies and got thrown out into other countries just to die and see horrible things. And that came home and changed the course of human history forever inside of traditional households. And I think we're slowly starting to get back. I'm starting to see a different change in mentality, especially over the last 12 months, especially in my life, where men and women are starting to remember what makes them men and what makes them women, which is exciting again.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
I guess it depends also what you're looking to and hearing from. I forgot about I just forget that like all those the impacts of the war. I forgot about that in terms of how it has shifted the culture.
100% shifted culture,
Yeah, I
100%. I look at it as a metaphor for a bomb goes off inside a shopping center with a radius of 50 meters. All right. And let's just call it 40 people are affected by this impact.
Yeah.
In reality, that bomb spread out across hundreds of thousands of kilometers and it impacted hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah. That's the same thing with war. War didn't happen for a short window of time to a select few people. It changed time and human existence forever.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah. Huge ricochet.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, I tell you what, Ace, we need to do a couple deep questions. This has been a long pod. I could go at it for another couple of hours, but it is 4:40. All right. I didn't realize how long it's been going, but I don't want to wrap it up just yet.
I'm sorry for you editing.
No, it's fine. I'm going to enjoy it. I promise I'm going to enjoy it. But yeah, these are just
you can
completely...
just cut out snippets you want.
Nah, I'll keep it. Keep it all. Keep it all. Couple of these, most of these I probably would have had it many times in the past, but I'm going to try and find ones that I think best suit the conversation we've had prior, or something that was completely different, nothing too routine like I usually do. But what about this one? If you could be the absolute best at anything in the world without failure, what would it be that you do?
Ooh, maybe dancing. Is that too shallow?
No, that's a good one.
Probably dancing.
Imagine being the best at dancing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd be C Brown. I'd be Chris Brown.
Yeah,
I'd be C Breezy.
I'd love that. I love dancing.
Me too.
Not very good at it, but love it.
I love a good boogie too. And with some sea breezy on, I'm a good boogier. Yeah. No, good answer. That's fun. I think if I could be the best at anything, I'm going to try and not think too logically about what would make me the most money or about what would make me the most.
Yeah, I was going down that route and then I was like, wait, I love dancing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then I'd probably pick something like... Honestly, I'd pick something like archery. I'd pick something a bit more personal that I could just do on my own. But it's zero failure. It wouldn't be fun if I hit the perfect shot every single time.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a bit boring. Okay, I would choose... You know what I'd choose? I'd choose driving efficiently. I would choose to be able to get wherever I want to get the fastest way possible, the safest way possible.
Oh, that's actually a really good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, driving.
That's actually so true.
Yeah.
Changing lanes real quick.
Without failure too. So you'd always be the number one car in the lane. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Nice. Good answer from you too. Good answer from you too. Here's one that I think we can relate back to. Is privilege toxic? What do you think about that?
I don't understand.
If I could... It's a bit more of a blanket term for a current societal construct, but I could probably change it to, do you think it is looked at in a bad way to have more than other people? Do you think the fact that some people have more is bad?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's just life, I think.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Privilege is definitely not toxic. I don't understand the terminology white privilege, male privilege, first world privilege.
Yeah, me neither.
It's a thing that exists because we are choosing to compare us to other people or not. That's what's toxic. What's toxic is the word
That's
privilege.
very true. And it's what you do with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good answer. Good question too. I like that one.
Yeah,
Haven't
that
had
is a good one.
What do you think the world needs less of? I'll go first with this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to say flies. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. I don't see the benefit. I don't need them. I don't want them. I don't like them. Goodbye, fly. Yeah.
Wow, that's a very good one.
I'm hoping for something a little bit more deeper though, to be honest with you.
I was going to say like rubbish or something.
Rubbish. Yeah. That's a good one.
Less of. I don't know how that's always going to be a problem, but
well, we are
rubbish.
getting less and I wouldn't say we're getting less and less rubbish because on a global scale, places like China are producing more and more what's the word I'm looking for? Like breakdownable material every single year. But within it, countries like ourselves, especially places like Australia, we have mad foundations that are getting built around recyclable things. Yeah. And there's a Netflix show called Down to Earth with Zac Efron, and season 2 of that show, he came to Australia. You ever seen that show?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Season 2 is really good. It's all about Australia. And it shows like way we're using clean energy in ways that we're farming renewably and things. And one of them was about material and plastic, and companies are creating Glad wrap that is breakable and it just dissolves in the ground, and it's actually good for the plants. And like I feel like we're entering a stage where we're getting more and more proficient and efficient with our material. Yeah. So rubbish is a good one, and hopefully that we can continue to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I would say in a bit more of an emotional level, I would say we also need less. I would say comparison.
Oh yeah.
I think we should.
Agreed.
We should compare ourselves to other people less. Although it is good to be able to look at people for role model, inspiration. I see things that happen on the internet and I think to myself, like, I would love to be able to attain it. How can I attain it? But I feel like if I compare myself to other people, then I would feel like I'm less than that person, you know?
Yeah.
So you can probably still have influence without comparing. you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's a mind shift. Yeah, mind shift. Because there's a comparing of like up or down. Like if you're looking down on someone like, oh, I'm better than them. Like what an absolute loser. Like I'm so glad I'm where I am now. Or there's I'm looking up like I'm not as good as them. Either way, like you're being horrible to yourself if you're looking up at someone else, or a piece of crap to whoever you're looking down on. Like you wouldn't say that to their face.
Yeah.
So, but it's also good if we need to have like the influence or looking up to someone or role model and changing your mindset. I've been trying to practice like when I have those thoughts, like when I'm on either unfollow them if I don't know them or if they're not close to me as a friend, or just get off social media, or saying actually a nice thing about them right there of like, I'm so annoyed they look like that or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Actually, like, who really cares? Like, they look great.
Yeah.
And then moving on.
Yeah, nice. Good.
Yeah.
I like that too. It's also like, it's like we kind of need to find another word too, don't we? Because it's like when you compare, maybe, I don't know, maybe, comparing yourself to others is definitely one we get rid of. But you can compare them to themselves. You can look at other people that are killing it and think you're killing it for you.
Yeah.
And you can look at other people that aren't killing it and say you could be doing better for yourself. You know, maybe don't compare them to ourselves. Yeah, nice. Good one. Yeah. Good one. All right, couple more. So far, I've liked these. These are good.
Yeah, they are good.
If you were given a whole year without any responsibilities, and let's just say you have an unlimited fund too, what would you like to accomplish?
Ooh, accomplish.
Let's give two things. You say one, I'll say one. You say one, I'll say one.
Unlimited, like, finances too.
Financial resources.
Oh, dang.
But accomplish, we won't use a blanket term like try every single thing on the planet, eat every food, like buy my mum a house, like keep it a bit more. You can say travel if you want to say travel. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you don't have to worry. How about let's say you don't have to worry about money?
Oh, that is maybe I would love to go like to all those slums and places like that and just provide the water. Is that okay?
That's a Google all that
like
one.
Food or something.
I thought you were going to say give the money, but
and have the supplies to be able to do that. That would be awesome. You'll go.
Okay, that was a good one. Being only a year, it sucks because like I look at my life in such a longevity of 5 to 10 year intervals. You know, like I could say one thing I'm excited to start doing one day is jiu-jitsu, but that'll take me 10 years. It will take me no quicker than 5 or 6 to get a black belt. So it's like,
it's
why would I
an
waste
investment.
that year? Yeah, why would I waste that year on that? If I was given a year without what I'd like to accomplish, I would say I would honestly spend that year planning the next couple years. If I had nothing to do,
it is an investment.
If I had nothing to do for a year, I would honestly just sit and think about the future. That's what I would do for a year. I would plan everything financially, dream-wise, my routine, my food, my diet. I would plan it all for a year. I'd set myself up for the next year.
That's so funny. That's cool. That's cool.
What about one more from you?
Probably. Oh, I had it. Learn a language.
Oh, cool dance. Oh.
I'm doing some Duolingo for Spanish. Like I would love.
I'm doing Spanish too. I love Spanish. It's my favorite language to learn.
That's like a life goal of mine that I have to achieve before. I don't know.
You literally stole my answer and my language.
You can take it.
No, I can't. I now.
I think do that. Invest in actual lessons. Have people. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Good answer. All right. You said lessons, which sparked my curiosity about guitar. I've always wanted to become proficient at guitar. Would I really spend a year of my time doing it if I didn't have any responsibilities? Probably not. If I had a year without any responsibilities, I would do the podcast every single day. Every single day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 7 days a week, minimum of 1 episode a day. Yeah. Life will get so much easier when I have someone to edit my videos for me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Because then
awesome.
I can do more podcasts a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I would do. Nice. Good answer. All right, we're going to find one more good one. What makes the way you think interesting?
The way I think interesting. Perhaps because I think in terms, I feel like I think in terms of what I say right now, what I think right now, what I say, how's it going to affect you, Jake, or how's it going to affect this person, this person, this person, this person. So what am I going to do to make sure that, which has been such a curse too, like that people, I'm kind of pleasing everybody or helping everybody the best way possible.
Oh, that is such a good way to think, Aves.
Which is cool, is awesome, but it's holds me back. There's problems to it. It holds me back from what I actually want, to do. And it can be frustrating to the people closest to me of when they know that I'm not doing it. I'm doing this for other people.
Yeah.
And just the people pleasing aspect, it holds you back. So but I think that's what.
That's a good way to think, though. I don't think you should give that up ever. I obviously think you should be able to do when you need to put your foot down, but you don't take me as a type of person who's a pushover at all. I think that if you needed to, I believe that you would be able to tell them what you needed to say.
Yeah.
And understand that it needed to be said. But I think that is such a nice way to think, just to consider other people every time that you go to do something. That's cool. Nice. I'd like to say that I try and do that, but I don't live my life like that. I just have to remind myself to do that sometimes, you know. Often I'll be in my own world and I'll think, the other person.
That's right.
Yeah. So good work. I'm glad you think like that. I would say what makes me think how I think interesting would be I notice that I think very metaphorically. I know that a lot of people don't think like this because I don't hear it very often in the way other people speak, but I do hear it sometimes. And that's that everything I possibly experience, I relate it to something else, whether it be in the same bracket or completely separate. I think that if I taste a food, I metaphorically think of a feeling I get. I metaphorically think of a place I've been. I think that when I watch something on TV or in a movie, I relate it to a song that I want. It's like the same song is the same movie, but they're completely different stories. You know, I see it's almost like I can see life as if it was a pattern that constantly be played out, but through different stories. I think that my life is no different to your life. I think that we have the same life, but just different. It's not even a proper way to describe it. I think that if I was to watch Harry Potter on TV, I think that's a perfect metaphor for my life. I have nothing to do with magic, wizardry, adoption, parents being murdered. The friends aren't the same, but every part of that story is me living my life. And I think that with every time I think of something, I refer it to something else, you know, and for some reason they're the same thing. And I know a lot of people don't think like that.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed, for example, that the other day where I was watching a show on Netflix, like it was called Life on Our Planet or something. It's like a new series that's been very trending lately. And there was a bug and it had these antennas in its face and it was just going around and touching things with it, trying to navigate because it was basically blind. It didn't have sensors. I didn't have eyes. But I saw its antennas as its eyes and they were actually its eyes. It just didn't see the way I see. Does that make sense? It's probably the closest way I could describe my feeling because I noticed it the other day and my partner pointed it out to me. But everything is just something else in a different way. Does that make, I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, that is. And you can see it in how you talk because you're forward thinking, future, but like you can relate to a lot of people and it reminds you of different things. So that is definitely a interesting thought pattern. It's like your brain's kind of like, I can imagine your brain must be thinking left, right, center.
It honestly is a lot sometimes if I get too deep in it sometimes. Like sometimes I almost have it's not like I have a panic attack, but it's like I kind of experience what's like to have a bit of flustering because too many things I'll be having a conversation with someone and then he'll say something and I think to myself, fuck me dead. I know you're the same person I was speaking to last week, but you're a completely different person. And it freaks me out. Like, what is life? Who am I? Like, who are you? Are you all just one person? Or like, I freak myself out because I'll have an experience and I'll think to myself like, damn it, I've done this exact same thing before. I keep living my life in repeat of the same things, but I'm doing a completely different task. So it does get overwhelming because there's so many things. I think I just have a memory that just my memory is strange. It doesn't necessarily work the way it should. It just jumps to other things all the time. You know?
It's cool.
Yeah.
It does reflect your deep thinking mindset.
I think so. So yeah, that would be it. Now I have one final question, April, that I do ask everyone that comes on the podcast. But before I ask you, I have to let you know that I'm super grateful for this episode. It's actually been such an uplifting, fun, welcoming episode.
Yeah, it has.
So I thank you very, very much for bringing that to this podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it too. I was a little nervous, but I knew that I was going to be encouraged, and I know that I'm going to walk out be like encouraged and uplifted. And yeah, so thank you.
Damn,
Thank
you
for
actually
having me
knew
on.
you'd be encouraged and uplifted. That's crazy. Thank you.
Just knowing you, it's like, I don't have to be nervous. So
Nice.
it's been
Thank you.
awesome.
I'm glad I can give that because that's something that I try and do. Yeah.
Definitely
Good.
do.
Yeah, great episode. But the final question I ask is just some advice in case anyone needs to hear it. I think that it doesn't matter how many times you hear something in your life. Sometimes you just might need the right words to be in order for it to really stick. So no pressure. Just curious of what your answer would be, that if someone was depressed and they were mostly depressed because they felt lost, what would you say to that person if they came to you for advice?
Yeah, well, I guess I've got to link it back to the Lord. Just get to know, read the Bible, get to know God, because everyone's going to feel lost at some point or lonely, but there is hope in Christ, and there's a future, and you're actually cared for and valued, and you're not a loser.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
trust in God, yeah.
Beautiful answer. Beautiful answer. You're not a loser. That was a nice little thing to chuck in there too. Yeah. Thanks, April. I'm not a loser. I do think that everyone is lost. You know, I think that there are 7 billion lost souls on this planet.
Yeah.
Not knowing their purpose, not knowing where they got to go. And Christ is such a beautiful way to remove that feeling of depression from feeling lost, because I think it's okay to feel lost. But when you're so overwhelmed in the fact that you're lost, you're depressed. You know, I think that's how you lead to depression. Yeah. But just understanding that you're lost is like, okay. And that's why I like that. I like it when you say things like, God will take me where I need to go. God will do these things, because it's a reminder that like, oh, so you're feeling what I'm feeling too?
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen?
Lost and feel lost?
Yeah,
Yep.
sweet. Oh, but you have an answer to get out of it? Damn, that's a good way. That's a good way to get out of it. I don't envy people's relationship with Christ, but I do know that I don't have anything in my life that is as pure as that, you know? And I don't know if it's necessarily a hole that I want to fill. It just lets me know that my journey in my religious experimentation, or maybe just belief, isn't over. There's more for me to figure out. There's more for me to find. There's more for me to resonate with. And I just thank people like yourself and your beliefs for encouraging me to continue looking.
That's cool. Yeah, well, we're on our journey. I feel like so much behind other people, you know, as well. Or like, oh, I want to be like Mitch or Kate or something, but yeah,
That's
we're
crazy.
all on our steps.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Because I can think the same thing about you.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It links back to it's encouraging though.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Good work, April. Well, I tell you what, I would love to have a podcast in the future with you, Pat, and Mitch.
That'd be awesome.
I'm about to start a family section of the podcast where I get to do families all together. I would also like to do you and Wes one day in the near future as well. It's one thing I'm very excited for. And to be honest, I'm just excited to have you on the podcast in the future again.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. This has been literally the best. A highlight, definitely.
Yeah, beautiful.
Huge highlight.
Good.
Thank you.
Easy. That's done. That's a wrap.
Shawty catch a vibe, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought a two-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stunt.